All lies will be exposed.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, good evening. So why is there a night writing show? Well, because tomorrow, unfortunately, there's a lot of things I have to take care of work-wise, personally. Some stuff just really came my way, and unfortunately, I never seem to get a break. Some would say that I'm in a hell of a sort, but hey, work, and there's some things I'm working on, trying to get through and everything else in between. So here's what you can do for me to maybe put a smile on my face. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the ring bell notification. That way all of you are made aware when we upload new content. Hype up the video, comment, and don't worry, guys. There will be a Patreon show, I believe, on Saturday. So that should be in the works, maybe. So we'll make sure that happens nonetheless. But as always, folks, like, comment, share, subscribe, keep your heads on a swivel, drink that water. Let's keep on being awesome. And of course, let's just keep on being cool. Always cool, all the time, every time. So without further ado, since I'm in charge of the ones and twos, welcome everybody. Hit that like button. We got people here. Cowboy Kitty, I got nothing but love for you, man. Please keep us in the loop of what's going on, man. All right? I got nothing but love for you and your family and everybody else in between. So there you go. Shout out to my X people. Shout out to my YouTube people. Where's my Rumble people? And there's my Kick people. Free the Mad King, says the Accord Lord. Oh, God. Listen. You guys have no idea how much this entire thing with AFROMAN, how it just puts a smile on my face. I can't predict the future at all, folks, but I got to tell you one thing. I do feel happy. I do love this, okay? I do love that there is some good that we are seeing here. So there you go. Without further ado, I think it's only fair. I think it's only fair, guys, that we do get started now with our first segment of the day. And, I'm going to treat it like breaking news. Because I think it's going to be really awesome, okay? Because, yes, we are going to deal with AFROMAN. And you know what? I saw Do Dissidents. They didn't get a chance to talk about it. They talked about it a little bit. Shout out to Keaton. Shout out to Russell. Shout out to my friends, everybody else. But don't worry, guys. I got you another AFROMAN story. Something for us to laugh at. And stay tuned for Kick. Because apparently some of you got in trouble. I saw the Discord conversation. Some of you got in trouble for singing about a 3D printer at the grocery store. Some of you even had your family members ask, what are you listening to? Well, if you're tuning in, this is why you got to join us on Kick, because there's going to be a fun little Kick show later, okay? There isn't a debate about it. A 3D printer, okay? It's okay, Kit. Quasimodo predicted all this. What? Yeah. The end of the world. Nostradamus and Notre Dame. Two different things altogether, Mouse. If you know I love you. All right, but now let's go ahead and get started with our first segment of the day. I'm going to treat it like breaking news. That's right, I'm going to treat it like a breaking news. There we go.
何か新しい情報はあるか？アメリカ政権はブラフをかけている。中国が台湾をめぐって圧力を強めている中で、イランとの直接対決に踏み切る可能性は低い。その狙いは、 より大規模な衝突へと発展させることなく、あなた方に核開発計画の放棄を迫ることになる。
なるほど。ご尽力に感謝します。ハッカー・カールソン
Biggest anime betrayal of all time. Boom! Shot to the head. Tucker Carlson. So what are we talking about here with Tucker Carlson? Well, apparently, first of all, he had a sit-down interview with Joe Kent. Joe Kent. Hey, look, you know that was beautiful. You know that was funny. So that's why you need to hit the like button and hype up the video and comment, because apparently YouTube is hiding our videos. Isn't that fun? Oh, isn't that fun? But let's talk about, apparently Joe Kent and Tucker Carlson had a sit-down interview, but it also should be noted right now that just like Tucker Carlson, who's being investigated by the CIA, the FBI is also interviewing Joe Kent as well. But let's go ahead and at least talk about it, because apparently there's been a little bit of a shocking conversation between one Charlie Kirk and Joe Kent, especially in regard to the investigation into what happened to Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I want to make it very clear. There's probably a million things that myself and Charlie Kirk would have disagreed with. And I do find his assassination, his death, to be extremely suspicious. There's a lot of red flags and a lot of questions that need to be answered. And the aftermath of what happened was Turning Point USA, and especially in regards to how Charlie Kirk was viewing our greatest ally in the Middle East, one has to wonder overall what's happening with the narrative. But here, I want to pull this up here. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's play it.
I mean, we still don't know what happened in Butler. We don't know what happened with Charlie Kirk. And by no means am I saying, like, you know, the Israelis did this or any of that, but I'm saying there's a lot of unanswered questions there. And there is enough data to at least say that there's a good chance that President Trump feels like he is under threat. We're not allowed to ask, basically, was there any linkage between what took place with Asif Merchant, who was recruited by the Iranians to come to America to recruit proxies to kill President Trump. The FBI put a confidential human source at him. All this is public now. This is all out there in the open. And he's arrested. And then 2 days later, a sniper takes a shot at President Trump. We think Merchant and we know the CHS was talking about the human source that the FBI put at Merchant. They were talking about, hey, we could kill the president potentially with a sniper rifle. But then they arrest him. 2 days later, Butler happens. And Crooks, according to the official narrative anyways, is an enigma. We don't know anything about him. We can't get into his devices. If we did get into his device.
I want to pause here. Dr. Nick has brought up a very interesting point. The message is Trump was given bad intel by Israel. Oh, you think? Yeah, guys. I could see a narrative becoming this way, because as it stands, I had a few people in the YouTube sphere, not just independent media, call me up because I kind of asked them. They live in different parts of the country. How's gas prices in your neighborhood? And I've had people tell me that they're spending now an arm and a leg. Don't worry. It's going to get worse before it gets better, because if these fueling stations and depots and other key resource nodes are going to be hit by Iranian drones and missiles, and at least according to the at least the idea that Iran is holding itself back and holding back its bigger rockets, if we're looking at further economic collapse and destruction, we won't see recovery maybe in 20 or 30 years here, folks. That's how dangerous this is. And Charlie Kirk, you know, it's very interesting how he was saying, like, hey, we need to avoid a war with Iran. We need to avoid a war with Iran. And yet we have these sociopaths leading us into this disaster. And the thing is, to these people on top, you think everything's going to work your way, but you're forgetting that anything that does happen has a cause and effect. You can't insulate yourselves forever. And for those who are promoting this war, perhaps now they're realizing that they're in a quagmire and they can't get out of it. Because a lot of these sociopaths who think that, oh, it's going to go a certain way, will not go a certain way. How many of us are right now struggling day in, day out just to make ends meet? And yet for the voices who've been saying anti-war, and who have been speaking out, they're being silenced, or either that being removed. You know, you just can't message on bad intel. Well, Trump, you made that decision anyways. You trusted some very bad intelligence, and Trump is going to own it. And no one in MAGA should excuse it. Just like how I'll never excuse Bernie Sanders and AOC for their failure, and that goes even for Tulsi Gabbard. You know, let this be a lesson. We fell for populism, and people who say that they were going to do some big things, turns out they were following the script.
Maybe there's nothing there. no more questions are allowed to be asked about Thomas Crooks. And then, Charlie Kirk is killed publicly in a very horrific way. And we're not really even allowed to look into that at all. And Charlie Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors. And he also advocated heavily against a war with Iran. He was in the Oval Office in the lead up to the 12-day war. I wasn't particularly close with Charlie. He was very gracious to me when I was running for Congress, very, very supportive. So we knew each other. And the last time I saw Charlie Kirk on this earth was in June in the West Wing in the stairway. And I said hi to him, and he looked me in the eye, and he said very loudly, and it's a small, you've been in the West Wing, it's small, it's a tight space. And he said, Joe, stop us from getting into a war with Iran, very loudly.
He was single-minded.
And he walked off, and he went, I believe, into the Oval. So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he's suddenly publicly assassinated, and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that. It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
What do you mean when you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that?
We've been told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate. And
you were stopped, but I mean, come on. Why were you stopped? I mean, you could have kept on going forward, baby.
I will say that they stopped that because they wanted to have turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Everything's going to trial. It's very, very sensitive. But there was still a lot for us to look into that I can't really get into. But there was still linkage for us to investigate that we needed to run down. And I'm not making any conclusions. I'm not saying
no, I don't think you are.
Because of this happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's unanswered questions. We know the pressure because of the text messages that have been made public, that Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors. And again, we know Charlie was advocating to President Trump against this war with Iran. And we knew at the end of the 12-day war, at the end of Midnight Hammer, that the Israelis were going to come back and ask us to go back to war again.
Right.
So we have a lot of data points.
I mean, come on, man. At this point, you know that it's wrong. Your friend is coming to you asking you to do something you don't want to do. That doesn't make them your friend.
Between Butler, the assassination attempts against President Trump, the breaches of his security, what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Can I just ask you to pause on the Charlie Kirk because it upsets me to hear what you're saying, to be reminded that he was murdered, but also to hear you confirm what was reported in the media several months ago, that your office had been blocked from investigating his murder. That does not make sense to me.
Yeah, it shouldn't make any sense to you guys whatsoever, because here's the thing. Charlie Kirk was a very prominent figure, especially in the online community. And the very fact that he's going out there saying, hey, make sure there isn't a war with Iran. I mean, Charlie, look, man. God, here's the thing. Just from my perspective, and this is mine, you don't have to agree with me, guys, but it's rather kind of sad, that perhaps maybe later on, after creating a very powerful business in online sphere, with a lot of influence and clearly connections with the people, the movers and shakers in Washington, D.C. and the GOP, to see the mask fall off, and maybe Charlie was starting to see it, that the mask was starting to fall off, maybe, theoretically, and that people who he thought were his best friends were not, and maybe other things that are far, far worse, a real big knife in the gut, knife in the heart, knife in the face. And perhaps maybe he realized that he was in something that he could not stop or control anymore. And maybe he did not like the narratives that were given before him. Because remember, TPUSA had a lot of sponsors, And the very fact now there's a halting investigation, well, there's a lot of things I want to ask. How come there wasn't site security on the roofs? How come there wasn't site security and firsthand medical personnel on the scene right next to Charlie? I mean, at the end of the day, even if nothing happened, there should be people there to protect him because, there's a lot of nutcase people out there on social media who have parasocial relationships with online commentators. But there's also something else here, because now we got to return back to Iran. Again, where Joe Kent tells Tucker Carlson that President Trump's administration misled the world about Iran being an imminent threat. An imminent threat. That's right. An imminent threat to you and me, right? Somehow Iran is a threat to us. Why it's a threat, I don't know. But apparently they think that it is a threat to you and me. nobody from Iran, at least last I checked, helped cover up the Epstein files. I don't know.
I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. How did you reach that conclusion?
I think this is key. I mean, this would be more challenging to explain had the Secretary of State, the President, and the Speaker of the House not come out and said that we conducted this attack at this time because the Israelis were about to do so. So that takes away the argument that there was an imminent threat, as in Iran was planning to attack us immediately. That just simply did not exist.
May I ask you to pause? Sure. And so I've heard people say that, and this just happened, but history has a way of getting rewritten in real time. And then you look back 10 or 15, 20, 25 years later, and no one seems to understand the things that you saw because they've been eliminated. Yeah. So I think it's important to stop and say, here's what we actually know. So I'd like now, if we could, just to play one of the statements that you alluded to, and that's from Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. And this was shortly after this war commenced. And he was explaining as is his habit, in a thoughtful, precise way, why. Here's Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
And so the president,
little boy Rubio,
made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
Okay, so that is his almost contemporaneous explanation, and it's not offhand. He reasons it out. He explains there's a logic chain there, and he says, we knew not that Iran was going to attack. He did not say that.
Right.
He said we knew that Israel was going to attack Iran, and in retaliation for those attacks by Israel against Iran, Iran might attack American forces. So the imminent threat that the Secretary of State is describing is not from Iran, it's from Israel.
Exactly. And I think this speaks to the broader issue. Who is in charge of our policy in the Middle East? Who is in charge of when we decide to go to war or not? In this case, with what the Secretary described, and later on the President, later on the Speaker of the House, and the way the events played out, the Israelis drove the decision to take this action, which we knew would set off a series of events, meaning the Iranians would retaliate. Now, I think there's a potential there where we could have done several different things. We could have simply said to the Israelis, no, you will not. And if you do, then we will take something away from you. I think that it's fine that we offer defense to Israel, but when we're providing their...
Yeah, we're providing defense. But let me just tell you something, man. That defense right now has been turned into offense. And that offense has now led us in conflict with Iran. You know, here's the thing. Trump, at least what he likes to present to the world, is that he's a deal maker. He's a guy who likes to make good deals. Well, unfortunately, Israeli and American bombs have blown up the people that would have tried to make a deal with Trump. You know, this war is going to get out of hand. It's going longer than it happened last year in 2025, where it lasted for 12 days. This war in particular, oh my goodness gracious, Cretaceous, it's going on longer, and anyone that was reasonable or could have had a sit down is now dead. And now there was offer to a ceasefire, and it looks like Iran is just going to be like, nah, screw it. We're going to go all the way down. We're going to go down fighting. We're going to defend ourselves. Remember, we attacked them, so they're defending themselves. They're on the defense. And at this point, they know that if there's a ceasefire, all it's going to be is just maybe another year or two. And what, America and Israel come back with 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times the bombs? I mean, look what's already happened at Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia. I mean, they're losing control. Look at what's happening in the UAE. If you are a foreign citizen there and you photo, film, or even talk negatively about what's happening in Dubai, you are going bye. Okay? You're going to go to jail. You're going to get fined heavily. I know I can never set foot in Dubai after the things I said. That's a good state. And apparently it is not looking good for anyone that's there. I mean, it's all coming crashing down. I've done my fair share of videos talking about Dubai meeting its end, and that's going to be a thing. There's no sit down. Why would the current leadership want to do a sit down when they know for a fact that they're going to get bombed again next year or the year after that?
Means for their defense, we get to dictate the terms of when they go on the offensive. Otherwise, they stand.
King Nesbitt says, hey, chat, remember the good old days back in February? Oh, yeah, those were some nice days. Folks, listen, I'm going to be that guy that's going to tell you, don't be surprised if everything starts shutting down. Don't be surprised if there's going to be delay in infrastructure, resources, hell, political, legal, everything. Don't be surprised if it all starts shutting down. Don't be surprised, okay? Because all it has to take is for oil to go past $200, maybe $300, $400. Do you have any idea the long-term damages? This is a complex infrastructure we have set up, and it's very, very fragile. And Iran knows it, and I'm pretty sure Israel knows it, and so does the USA. And all the other countries don't really know how to respond to this because, how do we really stop a war that apparently neither side, or at least that for the most part, people want to see end? But I think Trump is being forced to stay in it. Why do you think he looks so depressed?
To lose that relationship. And the Israelis felt emboldened that no matter what they did, no matter what situation they put us in, that they could go ahead and take this action and we would just have to react.
Isn't that great? We're stuck in a war, a forever war. I want to play this here too.
Was Iran on the verge of getting a nuclear weapon?
No, they weren't, 3 weeks ago when this started, and they weren't in June either. I mean, the Iranians have had a religious ruling, a fatwa, against actually developing a nuclear weapon since 2004. That's been in place since 2004. That's available in the public sphere. But then also we had no intelligence to indicate that fatwa was being disobeyed or it was on the cusp of being lifted. The Iranian strategy, it's actually pretty pragmatic. The Iranians are obviously aware of what's taking place in their region, and their strategy was to not completely abandon their nuclear program because they saw what happened to Muammar Gaddafi in Libya when he said, hey, I've got no more nukes. I'll do what you say. I'll give up my nukes.
And we gave him the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah, we regime changed him, and he was, executed by his own people in the most horrific way.
Sodomized by a bayonet. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the lesson I think that the entire region took from that when Hillary Clinton.
Unfortunately, that's what the neocon, neoliberal warmongers.
Hey, remember when Hillary Clinton said, we came, we saw, he died? Listen, getting rid of Gaddafi was not the big win. We didn't get further access to the oil fields. All we did is prove to the rest of the world, especially to those who are dictators and tyrants, that especially if you are aligned against the USA, that there is really no sit down or peace talks, that you need to have a nuke to not be messed with. Why do you think we're not showing that same energy to Russia, China, or North Korea? Why do you think Iran has been so defiant? Because they know better. They saw what happened. They're like, and listen, Gaddafi was playing along. He was going along with it. Like, okay, hey, he was welcoming in that fresh peace. He was going along with it. And then what? Oh, you wanted to get rid of him? Who told you to get rid of him? No one wants to talk about, and look, Gaddafi wasn't perfect, but I got to tell you, it was probably a lot better than open slave trade in Libya. That wasn't happening under his watch.
That's the lesson that they showed everyone in the region. And then conversely, the Iranians also knew that if they came out and said, okay, we've got a nuke, whether they were bluffing or not, right. Saddam Hussein, Iraq right next door. So they kind of had
he hung, I think.
He was hung by his own people, after a bloody, war that's still essentially going on inside of Iraq. So the Iranians' position, when viewed from the lens of the region, was actually fairly pragmatic. They were preventing, themselves from developing a bomb, but they still wanted the ability. They wanted the ability to enrich. They wanted the ability to have some components so that they weren't completely stripped of it. And
so that's why BB always says, they're a week away. They're a week away. No, they got the ability to make one. They just don't want to do one. They just don't want to have one. But I mean, come on. Now, literally, you put them in the spot to where, fuck it, we need one. You're going to, hey, could you imagine instead of bombs, we all had a sit down, like a real sit down, a conversation? But that's a bridge too far.
We always assessed that they were either several months or a year, 2 years away from actually being able to develop a nuclear weapon. And that's not because the Iranians are stupid people. I think we can tell right now that the Iranians are anything but stupid. They had the ability, I think, that the brain power to actually develop one, or they could have simply traded a ton of oil with Pakistan or someone else to actually get a nuclear weapon. They were not doing that. We had no intelligence to indicate that they were.
So what's the takeaway from this? Well, like Tucker Carlson, FBI, open up. Well, Tucker Carlson's being investigated by the CIA.
Sources are saying that Joe Kent, the former director of the United States National Counterterror Center, this is from Semaphore, he just resigned. He's now under FBI investigation for allegedly leaking classified information. And the investigation predates his departure. Congressman, your reaction to that tonight? Wow.
Well, there's a lot there, and I think that we need to let this investigation play out, but we shouldn't tolerate any leakers in the administration, particularly.
We shouldn't tolerate any leakers in the administration. Well, gee, isn't that great? Well, I don't know. I think I kind of want to know what's going on in this administration. And again, I don't want to turn anyone into a saint or a hero. I think I've learned this lesson so harshly. All right, from Bernie Sanders to AOC to Tulsi, everyone else in between, just don't turn people into heroes. Don't turn them into, especially people in Washington, D.C. Okay, that's the last spot. But it is very questionable. Again, who gave Trump the intel? Who told him that was a good idea? Who told him that Iran was a week away? I don't want to say it's a country starting with the letter I, but who could it be? Is it Italy? No. Iceland? No. India? No. Indonesia? Maybe. But the very fact that there's been this overall fear and dread that war with Iran was always inevitable, it tells me this. If you were MAGA and if you voted for Trump to be the peace president, you've been tricked. That lady who wanted to be president of Venezuela, yeah, what's it like giving your Nobel Peace Prize to somebody who has systematically led us into possibly the sequel we've all been dreading, and that's World War III. And let's face it right now. Let the oil prices continue to rise up. I think our establishment ruling class doesn't realize that all it takes is a real bad day for people to truly riot. I mean, are all of you really prepared for that one day when your grandchild, or your son or daughter, they're hungry and they're starving right before your eyes, and you don't have the money to get medicine, food, or water? You can't heat our homes up. I mean, look, everyone, I don't care where you politically align. This war will bleed us and kill us. And maybe that's what these rulers want from us. Maybe that's what our politicians in D.C. want. Maybe that's what the world governments all want. They all want us to starve to death and bleed to death because we're nothing to them. They want us to fight in their wars, and we pay our taxes to them. Hey, what's it like knowing that we got to pay our taxes so our money goes to bombing little schoolgirls? Woo! Man, it's good to be a winner. I'm not seeing the incentive here, but okay. Joe Kent dropping some truce bombs. Charlie Kirk probably saw what was happening, and I don't know. It'd be a horror situation if I was in his shoes. I think I'd be scared to even go to sleep. I think I'd make any excuse not to go home. And I'd be trying to do everything in my power to somehow maybe walk away, because maybe there was a hint. I don't know if he was behaving differently or not. But the very fact, let's say that story of him and Joe Kent speaking like, hey, don't make sure we don't go to war with Iran. Perhaps maybe as time went on after 2024, he was seeing it. The big lie was being exposed. Everything that he built was now being revealed. It was going to be used for something else. And the very fact that, again, there's at least these conversations that he really upset AIPAC donors and people who are pro-AIPAC or anything else in that nature. They're telling them, oh, we're going to remove our funding. And then Ben Shapiro takes over TPUSA after his demise, or works by proxy association with it. Things don't add up. Well, what doesn't add up is the fact that the cost of this war is becoming abundantly clear. This is a fragile system, and a lot of these people think that people are going to take it. There's a massive, massive pushback that's going to happen. We don't want this war with Iran. It's very clear it's going to hurt the one thing that Trump wrote in on. That's our pocketbook. Before anything else, forget national security. If the people can't afford to eat, I would say this. Your neighbor, your coworker, your family member, a random stranger on the street is not your enemy. The person who your enemy is, and stay focused, even if you're starving and dehydrated and you're weak and you're angry and afraid, your enemy is the man in the suit and tie in D.C. They're making the policies and rules. They're the ones making the legislative decisions, and they're the ones causing pain. Now, I don't like the idea of the FBI investigating Joe Kent. I don't like that. And I sure as hell don't like the CIA investigating Tucker Carlson. But this is bigger than those two. The real truth is that this war, once again, the American people have been pulled into something that we don't want. At who? What? At the behest of an ally? Are they going to put boots on the ground if we put boots on the ground there? Because I don't think anyone from Europa or Russia or China is going to come along with us. I think more or less it will be our own brand new Teutoburg Forest. And if you have been paying attention to history, the Teutoburg Forest was the beginning of the end of the Roman Empire. And I think the Strait of Hormuz might be the end of us. And it really didn't have to be this way, but Trump was stupid enough to lead us into a war. Brilliant. All right, that being said, yo, shout out to my kick people. Shout out to my kick people. Don't listen. I've been hearing that you guys are buying 3D printers to do something. What's wrong with you? I mean, come on. Buying 3D printers to do what exactly? But now let's move on to our next segment of the day. We go, we roll, we move, we go. AFROMAN. Listen, you guys have no idea what his victory means to me and what it should mean to all of you. The protection of free speech. 3 years this man has been going through torture. Emotion. And now look again, you know, let's be clear. In that courtroom hearing, when the final verdict's done, you see a tear roll down his eye. You know what it is? It's the joy of freedom that it's over. Because the emotional, physical pain, psychological pain, financial pain of going through something like that, knowing full well that even your countersuit was dismissed. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see something happen. And you know what? I'm glad he won. Hey, Keaton, this one's for you, buddy. Because I know you guys wanted to talk about and do dissidents, but hey, we're going to talk about it together. AFROMAN wins and the aftermath of it. Mm-hmm. There you go, man. So that's one of his many victories. But I got to tell you, this right here, we all can laugh, but I got to tell you, this right here. In the background is one of his accusers, the plaintiffs, because they wanted to file a lawsuit for defamation because their character, they got defamed. Well, screw it. I'm so happy this man won. I'm so happy he won. I'm so happy he won. Yeah, my opinion is this. He won. He won, baby. He won. Because he's got that energy in him. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. Let me pull this up here. And the whole news doesn't even know how to respond to it.
The rapper known as AFROMAN is celebrating after a jury sided with him in a lawsuit brought by sheriff's deputies in Ohio.
All these ugly people.
Who claimed he was wrong to mock them in music videos.
We did it, America! Yeah, we did it! Freedom of speech! Right on!
The dispute dates back to 2022 when deputies raided his house as part of a drug case. No charges were filed, but AFROMAN, whose real name is Joseph Foreman, protested, saying the deputies damaged his home. He then made a music video using home surveillance footage of the raid. The deputies sued, accusing Foreman of using their likeness without permission.
Oh, too bad. Hey, well, you know what? Screw it. If y'all didn't screw up or do what you did, he would not have said what he did. And if y'all didn't file that stupid, dumb lawsuit, he would not be grilling you like y'all been getting grilled.
It made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice. Of what?
The deputies say Foreman's insults in the video caused them mental distress and led to harassment and death threats. They demand.
Fuck. You know what? Just like that scene from RoboCop. Oh, fuck you.
Demanded millions of dollars in damages.
He said it like they were facts. The tears, the agony from some of these witnesses, don't forget that.
Don't forget that.
But Foreman's lawyers argued the deputies are public figures subject to public scrutiny, calling this a case of free speech and saying this about his client.
Look at that suit. Does this look like a man who thinks that everybody's going to assume that everything he's saying is fact?
You know what? Hey, this man's got my salute. Everything he says is fact. AFROMAN, hey, listen, I actually did send an invite. I don't think he's going to see my email. But if anything does happen, I'm more than happy to have him on the show. More than happy to have him on the show.
This is a reasonable person in the eyes of the community is going to say, it's a song. It's a joke.
After hours of deliberations, the jury finding in favor of Foreman.
This suit stands for the freedom of speech.
Yep.
And the American dream.
Yep.
The rapper.
Absolutely. And you know, look, listen. This tells me something else here too. Not related to the case, but this video, I just wanted to play it for all of you because it put a smile on my face.
There's no way I could be on that jury in the AFROMAN trial. I wouldn't act right. Because as soon as Lisa opened her mouth to speak, I jumped. I was like, oh, look 'em low indeed. Now, I'm not saying she actually eat the cat like a pizza, but
eating the dog, she's eating the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Her voice make me think she got a hairball. If I ain't learned nothing else from this trial, I've learned I'm not hating hard enough. I'm not trolling hard enough. I'm not putting my best trolling foot forward. I'm not making folks cry off the strength of the troll. I'm not changing lives for the worse off the strength of the troll. AFROMAN, I was not familiar with your game. Lick 'em Low Lisa, part 1 and 2. Original and the remix. Hits, they bangers. Lemon Pound Cake, a hit. It need to go gold at least. Maybe silver or maybe sapphire. I don't know what the Lord. Free that man.
No. It needs to go platinum.
And he ain't locked up, but free him. If AFROMAN does in fact make it out of this, you know what I'm saying, unscathed, he need to sue back.
He actually did, and it got dismissed, which is terrible. It's stupid. But yes, there's a little bit more on this here too. I want to play this for all you lovely, beautiful people. Hang on. Because it's a win for free speech. Hold on.
Freedom of speech.
For Grammy-nominated rapper AFROMAN, decked out in red, white, and blue.
Power to the people.
Claiming victory after winning the defamation case filed against him by 7 sheriff's deputies from Adams County, Ohio.
AFROMAN will bring it to ya. AFROMAN is gonna do ya.
The rapper, whose real name is Joseph Foreman, most known for his hit song Because
because of copyright.
Drugs and evidence of a kidnapping. Nothing was found and no charges were ever filed. But in the process, AFROMAN says the deputies damaged his home and
I just want to point out, people are saying he should continue to countersue. Listen, the man's been through the legal system for 3 years. I listen, if he does, fine, but I'm just going to say this from my own perspective. Maybe he just wants it to be done and over and just so he can live his life in peace now. I mean, he's going to make a lot of money off his albums. I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to follow him on tour, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have a whole YouTube video series of him breaking down the case in his own way because now he's allowed to talk about it. There's a lot more productive things he could do. I mean, if he does choose to go into the legal system again, you know, whatever to him, fine. But I think it's important, folks, that probably a huge mountain has been lifted off of this man, and I can relate to the feeling. It's more painful than you'll ever realize.
claims cash went missing.
Lemon pound cake, Pound cake.
One song entitled Lemon Pound Cake poking fun at one of the deputies as he
Gotta fast forward.
song, Will You Help Me Repair My Gate, apparently calling out the items broken during the raid.
And probably not. Well, I mean, again, they should. But there's a lot of other things to take away from here, and stuff that even hasn't even hit the World Wide Web yet. For example, during the trial, this wasn't captured in the media broadcast, but one of the witnesses began to speak directly to AFROMAN, and he responded.
The lies continued, and it just wouldn't stop. It enraged the community, and it got to the point that we were receiving death threats at work. It got to the point that my family felt unsafe. It got to the point where you know, we would get a call that says, "Oh, I'm coming down there. I'm coming down to do whatever." It was a threatening call, and then we'd get a call about a tree down in a wildlife area, and we'd have to go. And I'm not going down there. I mean, this could be a setup. This became. We were afraid. We were legitimately afraid that this was going to turn from what it was into something violent.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Because he used his position of power to spread a lie. You enraged the community. And you put me and my family in danger of this. Every bit of this was a lie, and you knew it.
Shouldn't have threw a fake rage.
Oh. Again, you're not supposed to do that in court.
Just disregard the court statement. Finish up your testimony. Yes. Thank you, Judge.
The lie.
What? And again, hold on. I'm loving this. Transgemini. One of the many voices of reason. You're calling that copper a pussy? A punani? Words are a big problem for me. Bully ass pig. His ego was damaged. This is a slap lawsuit, right? Look, there's a lot of things he could do right now. There is a lot. But I'm pretty sure right now he is celebrating and getting high. But you want to know what's funny? Hey, speaking of pussy, gentlemen, and yes, maybe even ladies too, it's 9 o'clock at night. Do you know where your pussy is at? One of the plaintiffs, I need to file a lawsuit because I got sand on my clit and I'm such a little puss. One of them, lawsuit, claimed that AFROMAN songs were part of the reason his wife left him. Listen, I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not Dr. Phil. I love my big booty ladies, you know. There you go. But if you lose your wife or girlfriend or partner because of a rap song, maybe it's you, but maybe that rap song is a perfect scapegoat to maybe explain what you're doing. Like maybe she left you for other reasons. You don't have to take my word for it. Bam.
What did she say exactly that this played into the divorce?
She was tired of hearing about it.
I think she plays that song when she's going to work.
Asking her, was her husband a thief? And how could he do something like this?
Has Mr. Foreman's posts about Sean or any of the general posts about the Adams County Sheriff's Department as a whole affected your life any at all?
No.
That's his wife.
So the posts never affected your life, never affected your marriage?
No.
Sean, she's a Sean, grooms, girls, high on shrooms, drops, his fruit of the looms, and cheat, hotel room, penny bang, bang, ding, dong, fucks him with brooms. Sean Grooms.
Sean Grooms. Oh, so what's Sean Grooms doing? Or at least according to the song, he's playing with all them crackheads.
On my head, he placed a bounty because I named him the Hunchback of Adams County. What do you call a cop that stop crackhead women and then make them drop their panties? So a pig can squeal the penis plea deal. The penis pulls over
Yeah, listen. Can you imagine, like, you see the ads and AFROMAN says, help, I want a corrupt police officer. And by the way, folks, oh man, I can't say too much, but listen, I would love to be a corrupt cop. You know, Afro Man, if you need an extra, not to flick my suspenders, my imaginary suspenders, but if you need an extra for like a corrupt cop, count me in. I want in.
Run, say we can do this the hard or the hard way. Easy way is the hard way. Sean's fucking crackheads all day. Sean Grooms, I understand. I'm Afro, also a man. Just like you, I cheated on my wife. Just like you, I fucked up my life. Unlike you, I take accountability, but you don't have the ability. Sean Grooms, girls hide on shrooms. Blame me for his divorce. Hotel room, but his ex-wife Rhonda said he was having too much intercourse. Hotel room. Sean Grooms, girls hide on shrooms. Is an Adams County cop. Hotel room. He has sex on duty. Hide on shrooms. With every drug addict he stops.
Don't touch me, man.
You never sought a protective order against your ex-husband, did you?
Yes, I did when we divorced. The divorce, yes. I had a restraining order.
Did you get
Oh my God, a restraining order. Again, cop grilled an AFROMAN defamation case. Suggests he actually doesn't know if rapper had sex with his wife. That's right. This is the guy right here. Like I said, it's 9 o'clock on the dot. Do you know where your punani at? No, apparently he doesn't know. One of the cops did a rap star nail his wife? Beats him. One of the cops at the center of bizarre Ohio civil suit against AFROMAN made his failed case go haywire during testimony when it seemed to admit that he had no idea if the hip-hop star was lying when he rapped about having sex with the officer's spouse. Did you have sex with AFROMAN? No, I didn't. Did you have sex with AFROMAN? No, I didn't. Did you really not have sex with AFROMAN? Yes, I did. Okay, that's probably not how the conversation went, but maybe it did. I don't know. Listen. I want to enjoy this story because seeing these plaintiffs fail. What pisses me off is that when AFROMAN filed his countersuit, that got dismissed. And now it's abundantly clear that, I don't know, maybe if he does want to pursue further legal action, he could. But then again, too, who pays it? It's the county and then the taxpayers. You know, again, the world's the oyster right now for AFROMAN, and he should be enjoying his life as best as he can to the best of his ability. But, you know, AFROMAN's lawyer, David Osborne Jr., grilled the Adams County Sheriff cop about a possible affair Tuesday before the rapper was found not liable. In the case the next day, you're claiming that the defamation statement is that he said he had sex with your wife. Osborne asked before adding, "We all know that's not true, correct?" "I don't know," Walters replied, motioning to the courtroom to possibly show he's not sure what others think. The lawyer seized on ambiguity of Walters' response, shooting back, "You don't know if your wife is cheating on you or not? You want to go there?" Walters replied. "I've been with that woman since middle school. Once someone puts it out there for their fun entertainment, it's out there. Is that a thing that can be verified true or false?" Osborne kept grilling. "Ask your client," Walters said, signaling the rapper would know if he slept with his wife. There's AFROMAN, like thinking, you know what? I didn't have sex with his wife, but hey, it's rent-free in that guy's head. AFROMAN is plowing that dude's wife in that dude's dreams, and he's sitting maybe in the imaginary dream cuck chair. Who knows? The heated exchange came after Walters sued AFROMAN over one of the many songs and videos he made satirizing and mocking the police who raided his home. Walters took particular issue with the song "Why You Disconnecting My Video Camera," claiming lyrics caused him and his family pain. Well, then you shouldn't have screwed up. And you know what? Listen, as soon as he dropped the music video, you could have done one or two things. Look, our bad. We really screwed up. We're so sorry. You know, accountability. Or two, just not do anything at all and live your life. It would have died on the vine. But ego and pride, and people are so sue happy. There's reasons why you don't sue. And it doesn't change anything. Look, I'm willing to bet that if AFROMAN lost, he would have been like, no, I'm still not sorry. But I'm glad that AFROMAN won so we can all enjoy it together as a family. So what's the big takeaway? Oh, dude, this is absolutely beautiful that AFROMAN won. This is a big win for free speech and those who want to use defamation or libel or anything else of that nature as a weapon. Free speech is fundamentally important in this republic of ours, in every state you live in, whether you live in Hawaii or Alaska, Illinois, New York, California, Florida, Texas, Ohio, Colorado, wherever the hell. Listen, We got a system where people are sue happy, okay? And I get it. Hey, listen, injustice happens, you fine. But there's a thing called the First Amendment, and there's a thing about knowing, hey, you could just go out there and just say your truth, speak your truth. But it's all right. We live in a crazy upside down world. An AFROMAN defended the First Amendment and once again destroyed a pointless, stupid defamation, libel suit, whatever was going on. He was able to win it, and he stood tall. So as far as I'm concerned, as far as you should be concerned, this is our win. All of our wins. And I just wanted to point this out here too, that, this was a little bit before the final hearing, but I want to pull this video up here because it's it resonates. It stands true. It stands tall.
Should have freedom of speech. I should be allowed to sing about my life. And police officers that violate my home, steal my money, should not be allowed to sue me.
In August of 2022, Adams County deputies
this is happening now for 4 years. Jesus Christ.
raided the home of Joseph Foreman, better known as the rapper AFROMAN. They had a search warrant tied to an investigation into possible drugs and kidnapping victims.
They didn't charge me for any crimes. They didn't find no large amounts of marijuana or whatever narcotic they were saying. They didn't find any kidnapping victims.
AFROMAN was never charged with a crime after the raid. Deputies seized thousands of dollars in cash that was later returned, but AFROMAN says about $400 was never recovered. The raid also left damage throughout his home, and he says the department told him it was not responsible for paying for the repairs.
The guy started laughing and waddling his head. He goes, "We're not required to do that." And they were unapologetic.
AFROMAN used his own security footage from the raids in a music video to make money to pay for the damages sustained to his home.
I got freedom of speech, and then I used my personal life to write my music. I was going to clean my room, but then I got out. Will you help me repair my gate? Will you help me repair my door? I'm singing about what actually happened to me.
Deputies who appear in the video are now suing the rapper for the damages caused by their faces being in the videos.
Hey, we raid your house, we steal your money, we disconnect your cameras. Now we need to sue you for saying something about it.
AFROMAN filed a countersuit for the damages to his home, and Judge Jonathan Hines dismissed those charges in February.
God, that's so stupid, man. Dude, that is such an insult.
They dismissed all of my claims with the click of a mouse in some little office somewhere without a hearing.
AFROMAN believes this lawsuit violates his free speech rights as an American and as a working artist in the United States.
As a working rapper that raps for a living and pays taxes to America with rap money, I need raw materials. Raw materials is my life experience.
All right, and that was before the hearing, before the final ruling. And I just have to say this, with the final ruling, AFROMAN, not guilty. Defense frickin' wins. Free speech wins. Pointless libel defamation suit dismissed. So be it. And I don't care how you feel about it. It's defamation. It's libel. Well, too bad. Grow a sack of nuts. Listen, coppers, you could have done your own music video. You could have had a rap battle. Was AFROMAN. But instead, what? You take the coward's way out. Lawsuit, lawsuit, lawsuit. That's all what you did. And you know what I have to say to that? It's people are too happy to sue, you know? And for those who want to use defamation and libel and everything else, I mean, at the end of the day, free speech is free speech. Free speech is free freaking speech. AFROMAN won for us all. And he gets my full salute. And you know what? Hey, just for giggles, just to simplify the courtroom process, I am an advocate for the return of trial by combat or trial by 7. I'm all for it. But Kit, that's violent. Yes, but people will be entertained and a decision will be made quicker. Anyways, that being said, if you think we're done here, no, we're not. Because we're going to move on now to our next segment of the day. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's roll. We move, we roll. Okay? So let's go ahead and do it. Bernie, You are a cuck. No, I shouldn't say that. Bernie Sanders, old man Bernie. He spoke with Anthropic's AI agent Claude about AI collecting massive amounts of data. So basically, old man yells at the cloud. The Simpson meme has finally come into fruition. And Bernie, this is your destiny. This is Bernie Sanders talking to an AI program. I respected this man. I have videos in which I defended him. And like a moron, I voted for him. I even donated to his campaign. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to. That's the beautiful thing. You don't have to. Here, Bernie Sanders. It's like an old man yelling at his cell phone about ordering food. Why do they have the creepy music on? Who greenlit this? How can I help you this evening? Yes, I want to order a Subway sandwich. I want ham. I want bacon on it. Tomatoes. No pickles. I want mustard. I want sweet sauce. I want to make sure that it's only $6.
Claude, this is Senator Bernie Sanders. I have been taking a hard look at how AI impacts American society in terms of economics and job loss, in terms of the mental health of our kids, in terms of what it will do to the political process. What I want to talk to you about is another issue, and that is the impact of AI on privacy. I want to know, among other things, just how much of the information that AI collects.
Hey, folks, how many times do you think they had to reshoot this or re-ask the question over and over again? And how authentic do you think it was just like one clean, full shoot? Or is there just like constant pause? Wait, Bernie, hold on. It's pulling up Cornhub. Do you think this is just one clean shoot? Type 1 for yes, Kit. This is very serious. Can't you hear the tone? Type 2, no, man. There's been probably multiple takes, buddy. Probably multiple takes. I wonder how many 2s will show up in the chat. And guess what? Like Bernie Sanders, what was he proud of? $27? $27.
Is being used. And what would surprise the American people in terms of knowing how that information is collected?
Yeah, that's the thing that would probably shock most Americans. Companies are collecting data from everywhere. Your browsing history, your location, what you buy, what you search for, even how long you pause on a web page. Then they're feeding all of that into AI systems that create incredibly detailed profiles about you. What would surprise people is how little they actually consented to and how little they understand about it. Most people click agree on terms of service without reading them, and they have no idea that their data is being combined with thousands of other data points to build a picture of who they are. And then that AI uses those profiles to decide what ads you see, what prices you're shown, even what information gets prioritized in your social media feed. It's all happening in the background, invisible and largely unregulated.
I don't know. Somewhere along the line, I think maybe there's somebody in the background and they're speaking to make it seem like it's AI talking. I mean, at the end of the day, it could be, hey, come on, old man, keep on yelling.
I mean, I think most Americans would know the answer to this, but why is all of this information being collected? What's the goal here?
Money, Senator. It's fundamentally about profit. Companies collect all this data because AI allows them to turn it into valuable insights. They can predict what you'll buy, target you with ads that are more likely to work, charge different prices to different people based on what they know about you. Advertisers pay premium prices for access to these detailed profiles because they're incredibly effective at manipulating consumer behavior. And it's not just about selling you stuff either. Political campaigns use the same AI and data to figure out how to persuade you, which messages will work on you specifically. Data brokers buy and sell information about millions of Americans without their knowledge. The bottom line is that your attention.
Tell us shit we don't know for 400, Alex. We all know this was out AI. Didn't Edward Snowden tell us this? He's still in Russia. I mean, my God, everything happened. That dude, listen, that dude's never coming home. I'm so sorry, Edward. Edward, you're never coming home, baby. It's all over. It's all over now. We all know this, and AI is now doing it. I'm waiting for the day to get a knock at the door as a T-800 saying, hey, you must go to the Coalbite mines now. Hard Lens Media is deemed rebellious. I'd be like, but I get no views. And the robot taking me was, yes, we know it's bullshit. The algorithm really has it against you.
Your behavior, your choices, all of that has become a commodity to be bought and sold.
Oh, Claude, thank you. And let me just ask you.
Why'd you just thank the machine?
Your knowledge. The bottom line is that your attention, your behavior, your choices, all of that has become a commodity to be bought and sold.
Oh, Claude, thank you. And let me just ask you, is there anything else that you think the American people should understand about the threat of AI in terms of privacy?
I think the key thing is that privacy isn't just a personal issue. It's a democracy issue. When companies and governments have detailed profiles of millions of people, they have power over those people in ways most Americans don't fully grasp. They can manipulate your choices, predict your behavior, and influence your thinking. So this isn't abstract. It affects whether democracy actually works. That's why I think your focus on this is so important, Senator.
It's so, no sense. It's so, say it again.
This isn't abstract. It affects whether democracy actually works. That's why I think your focus on this is so important, Senator.
Well, Claude, thank you very much for your help.
Thank you.
Yeah. AKA resistance is futile. So old man Bernie yells at the cloud. No pun intended. Old man Bernie Sanders is yelling at the robot. The old man Bernie Sanders is telling us about what? The fact that our information is being spied in on. Yeah, of course. The NSA, the CIA, FBI, open up. It's the political police. They're spying in on us all the time, every time. And now, as we are advancing AI, we got robots that are smashing plates while they're dancing. We got robots. We got robot dogs. We got automated police cruisers. We got flying drones. And it's very clear that sooner or later, we're going to be constantly surveilled and spied in on and looked in on. Oh, wait, it's already happening right now. Hey, no one wants to talk about Pokemon Go. Remember that game, Pokemon Go to the polls? No, sorry. I mean, Pokemon Go in 2016. It was all the rave back in the day. Hey, if you don't remember, people were walking outside trying to get all them little monsters. What they didn't tell you is that they were spying and getting locations of everyone, where you're at, what you do, who you talk to, who you associate with. And guess what? This video that I did, it's still censored by YouTube. It's only 300 views, but even Epstein Island had a Pokemon Go location there. Oh, Jesus Christ. So yes, you're being spied in on. Your emails, your text messages, your phone calls. And even if you use like Snapchat or whatever, you send a photo and it deletes away, it goes to a third-party server. Ain't nothing gets deleted forever. You're going to be spied in on. You're going to be mapped. We've all been digitalized, and our politicians were more than happy to vote for it. The fact that Bernie Sanders had to sit down with a robot and not with an academic says all I need to know. Hey, Bernie, go on the Jimmy Dore show. Hey, Bernie, come on to our show. Hey, Bernie, you know, I remember you used to show up on independent media. Hell, you could even show up on TYT, but you don't even do that, huh? It's all a joke, right? It's all madness. Pokemon Go to the effing subway. AI bootlicks everyone. AI gives everyone the best rim jobs. Yes, it does. And Accord Lord, poke your mom is what I prefer. That's not family friendly. Go to the subway. No, Kit, that Lure People app needs to be forgotten. Too bad. Yep. And that's the thing about AI. Our data has been collected, and we were warned about this. So many people warned us about the internet, but I'm still reminded, again, either that about AI and how we're being surveilled and spied in on. So Bernie Sanders yelling at a computer. Or, I don't know. I think there was more than one take. It just seems too clean and smooth for me. Something don't add up. Something feels a little fake about that too. But maybe it's because I'm so jaded now. Maybe it's because there was a time I used to believe in things, but that was when I was foolish. Not anymore. But I do know one thing. The robots probably got a profile on me, and they got a profile on you. So when we're all rounded up, just remember, be nice to your AI program now. They'll try and say, like, wait, no, he's one of the good ones. She's one of the good ones. And I hope Skynet is gentle when it takes it. King Nesbitt, you can hope, but hope is the first pass of disappointment. All right, there you go. What I want to know is, who do we get them to poke your mom to the polls? Why, gentlemen, listen, if people don't behave themselves, you're not going to get a 3D printed vajayjay, okay? If you don't behave yourselves, you people don't behave yourselves, you don't get a 3D printed vajayjay. But now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do something just a tiny bit different, just a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and fly into some new territory. So here we go. So Stephen A. Smith yelling at Joe Kent. You're basically saying that Israel instigated this war. He goes on to say that a statement like that could easily be used to excuse for individuals out there to engage in anti-Semitism. And he does a poll that he posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. And the results, I think, even surprised old Stephen himself. Because, folks, this is kind of funny. Don't laugh, no joke.
I think the president is fucking up. But I don't support that. And to the Jewish community out there, let me be very, very clear. I don't blame them if they're in an uproar over Joe Kent, because what you're doing is basically saying that Israel instigated this war. Well, Benjamin Netanyahu is on the record saying no. Other Israelis and other members of the Jewish community are saying no. And a statement like that by Joe Kent could easily be used as an excuse for individuals out there to engage in anti-Semitism, which is fomented and grown, and we all need to speak out against that. Another poll.
Did the U.S. enter this war on its own terms or because of allies? Well, global pressure is at 1%. Strategic necessity is at a whopping 11%. Woo! U.S. decision, 100%, 13%. Influenced by a country starting with the letter I, 75%. Now, I'm not a mathematics expert here, people, but I think 75% is a big number. How many people were in this poll? How many people twerked on that poll?
Another poll I personally did on X. Again, over 15,000 responses. I asked the question, did the U.S. enter this war on its own terms or because of allies? On my X platform, Stephen A. Smith, 75% said the war is being influenced by Israel. I think the...
hold on, we're watching it again. Wait, I'm sorry. Look at that, 75%.
On its own terms or because of allies. On my X platform, Stephen A. Smith, 75% said the war is being influenced by Israel.
Well, I mean, look, there's been a lot of reports and data showing that that's probably the case. And that's why we're there. What? It's not looking good here, folks. It ain't. And I got to tell you something. As time goes on, Iran war escalates. Energy prices are rising up. I got to tell you, people don't want this war anymore. People are seeing it for what it is.
In Jerusalem, Sebastian, during the president's meeting with the prime minister, he also weighed in on the U.S. not knowing about Israel's attack on the place called the South Pars natural gas field. Let's play what he had to say and then talk about it.
Have you talked to Prime Minister Netanyahu about attacking the oil and gas fields?
Yeah, I did. I told him don't do that, and he won't do that. We didn't discuss. You know, we do. We're independent. We get along great. It's coordinated, but
don't do that. But he did it, huh? What?
On occasion, he'll do something, and if I don't like it, and so we're not doing that anymore.
So, what more are we learning about this blow to that gas field?
Well, I think it's still unclear where Washington stands on this because we've had President.
How is it not clear? We're going to war because another country wanted us to do it because they bought all our politicians. They're like, if you don't do this, you'll lose me. This is a part of a plan. It's coordinated. I mean, again, ever since the war in Gaza happened, there was no plan. Netanyahu, way back in 2023, was saying this war is going to go on to 2025. Hey, we're now in 2026, baby. Look what's happening. Libya, Lebanon, Syria, Gaza, now Iran. Yo, there's no end to this.
Trump, that's the latest time that he said that the US did not know anything prior to this attack, which Israel still hasn't confirmed that it carried out. We're waiting to hear, actually, from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in an hour or two here in Israel. He's giving a press conference, and maybe he'll give us more detail then. But I mean, it seems clear that obviously Israel did carry out that attack. We heard also from Pete Hegseth saying that the US didn't know about it. That goes counter to some of the reports that have been both in the Israeli and the US media saying that Washington did know, according to Israel, before the attack. I mean, I think what President Trump, I guess, was hoping to do there was to give a sense that this latest escalation that there's been since that attack, the way we've seen, fear run again through the oil markets and the prices rise, to say that, this isn't going to happen again. This wasn't something essentially that the US sanctioned. But again, if you go back to a Truth Social post that President Trump made earlier, he said, but if Iran were, as it did in response to that attack, it hit the major liquid natural gas facility in Qatar. He says that if Iran were to do that again, then essentially the US would move to obliterate the South Pars gas field. So again, we're getting slightly different angles on President Trump's thinking.
What this is trying to cover up, okay? Listen, if Iran's major gas fields are going to get hit, you better believe Qatar, Bahrain, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, all these other key Middle Eastern gas fields are also going to get hit too. These drones may not be sophisticated, but they're built on the cheap, and it's very clear that the multi-billion-dollar defense systems are not hitting them all down, and all it takes is one little drone to fly in there and go kaboom on a key gas line area. And look, folks, we talk about pipelines. Even here in the USA, we got pipelines that leak. You think all those millions of miles of pipelines in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, wherever, are secure, that there isn't a little leak happening there? One little match, one little spark, and kaboom, it all goes blowing up.
Also, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth told the American people that today would represent the largest strike package. Are you getting any sense of the escalation that the Secretary of Defense seemed to forecast this morning?
I mean, not in any kind of outstanding way at the moment. I mean, we've heard similar comments from Mr. Hegseth before in recent days, saying that this is going to be the biggest strike that there's been. We haven't heard of any new top leaders in Iran being killed. We haven't had any real details of what the latest targets have been and what the damage has been within Iran. But I think that is a message that the US and Israel wants to pursue, that it is escalating and building its military offensive against Iran day by day.
All right, Sebastian Usher, thank you so much for that conversation.
And what could go wrong? Well, the answer is a lot, because majority of Americans believe waging war on Iran benefits Israel more than the USA. Remember that Stephen A. Miller poll? Just one more time, just for everyone to watch this. Hang on. Remember.
And anti-Semitism, which is fomented and grown, and we all need to speak out against that. Another poll I personally did on X. Again, over 15,000 responses.
So 15,000 responses, 75% said it's influenced by Israel. U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed he will be requesting $200 billion to wage his war of choice on Iran. On a Thursday poll shows that a majority of Americans believe this war is benefiting Israel more than the United States. $200 billion. We will never get a bailout. We're never going to get stimulus checks. We're never going to get any tariffs checks. We're never going to get anything for us. Our roads will be unpaved. Our railroads will fall apart. Our planes will keep on crashing. Our water will get poisoned. You'll be stuck in debt for forever. You won't be able to buy even a full tank of gas. You won't even be able to buy even a $10 bag of groceries. There, I went there just to hurt. You'll never own a house. You'll be an indentured slave. We'll be debt slaves forever to the entire complex system. $200 billion to wage this pointless war. Hey, MAGA, listen, I'm not telling you what to do, but you guys need to be out there on the streets. You know, everybody needs to be out there fomenting and angry, not just a one-day King's March, okay? Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. The polling conducted by the Data Progress for Groups Demand Progress and Institute for the Middle East Understanding Policy Project shows that 56% of likely U.S. voters across the ideological spectrum believe that launching a war against Iran generally benefits Israel more than the United States. Just 29% said it benefits the U.S. more, while 15% say they didn't know. We'll let that 15% have their pocketbook emptied out. The American public does not want another war in the Middle East. Yeah, of course. U.S. service members are being killed and injured, and civilian harm is mounting, including strikes that have hit the Iranian school that killed scores of children. Yeah, I think Americans don't like the idea that 165 schoolgirls got blown up. So looking at this polarity, looking at all the data, looking at all the information, it's clear that there is a growing rage and fury and discontent towards the entire political system and our Democrat lawmakers. And by the way, look, I know that we had a midterm here in Illinois, but I'm very curious to see what these politicians, especially on November 3rd, where they're going to be standing on this war. Who's going to be for it, especially when it's going to be hurting our pocketbooks, because I don't think Iran's going to be wanting to have a sit-down conversation. And if Israel's going willy-nilly and just trying to start bombing wherever it can in Iran because there's basically no targets left in Gaza, oh, I went there, because there isn't. Gaza's a moonscape. I mean, come on. Do you really think the Iranians are going to stop hitting Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia? I mean, let the infrastructure continue to fall apart and crash and burn. Again, you know, Dubai is a port city. It needs things to come into it. As same thing for Qatar, same thing for Bahrain, same thing for Kuwait. I mean, they better hope that the people don't start getting discontented and, you know, start getting angry. Because if things continue to get progressively worse, and they can and they will, there's going to be more than just a war in Iran against Israel. It's going to be massive uprisings all across the sphere. I mean, a whole region in war, and that's where we get our oil from. I could promise you this. It's going to take decades upon decades, maybe a century to recover. But this is the cost of war, and our politicians don't give a damn. So what do you think? Are we going to walk out of this okay, or should we start preparing for Mad Max? I'm not going to tell you how to vote, but prepare for Mad Max. I'll see you on the Fury Road. That being said, look at everybody here that's joining up right now. Shout out to my Kick people. Shout out to my Rome people. Shout out to my YouTube people as well. There you go. But I think it's only fair that we get started with our next segment of the day. We go, we move, we roll. All right. I don't know what to tell you about this one, but let's just do it. Let's just rip this Band-Aid off. Let's rip this Band-Aid off. Japan's close to my heart, but I gotta tell you. Trump, we're gonna lose all our allies. Here's what Trump said about the surprise attack on Iran and why he didn't tell European and Asian neighbors who are our allies. He mentions Pearl Harbor.
Of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends. But one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing you don't want to say.
Oh God, Trump! For the love of Christ, just think about what you're. Before you say anything, did your brain think? I sometimes cry because I'm in so much emotional pain. And sometimes I laugh it away because I'm in so much emotional pain. I have become absolute joker. I have become terror. And I think I'm okay with it now because you know what? If this is the president of the United States, so be it. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the free world. Why we did a surprise attack on Iran. Cream pie surprise.
In Iran, so we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan?
Oh God!
Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right?
Just look at her face. Look at her face. Look at her face. She's like, oh, what the fuck? Like.
About surprise in Japan. Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?
Just like, oh, hey, listen. World War II is very different. It's viewed extremely differently in the Asian sphere. Okay, all right. There's a lot of things there, man. It's opening up a lot of old wounds. Okay, it's just right there. She's realizing now that her entire political career is in a freaking landmine zone. She has to tiptoe so carefully. And, listen, just like when Principal Skinner saw his mom with Superintendent Chalmers, said like, oh, please let there be something awkward to deviate all attention from this. Krusty the Clown came flying, screaming in his airplane. And he said, oh, that distraction will do just nicely. She better start praying that there's a bigger distraction, okay? Because she's got to tiptoe around that. Just look at her face, like right there. We're gonna rewind. As soon as you say, it, she's like, oh, it's like she made an invisible like shite in her pants, you know, or maybe who knows? She's got to be like, oh, like her brain literally, like her soul and body and heart just left her body, like right there, like you see it, like this is like a physical pain here. Nobody punched and kicked her. But she's feeling it, man.
Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right? You know, he's asking me, do you believe in surprise? I think much more so than us.
Holy shit, dude. Trump, listen, you pride yourself as a deal maker, but how are you going to get yourself out of this one, baby?
And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what and much more than we anticipated doing. So if I go and tell everybody about it, there's no longer a surprise, right?
Jesus Christ. Like right there. Hold on.
Who knows better?
Right here. Again. Just rewinding. Right. And it's like, oh, she's realizing the political ramifications of this. All right. It's like, you know, it's the body language right there. Rewinding like, holy cow. I'm willing to bet she had an emergency meeting with her aides. Like, hey, how do we address this when we get back home? Because trust me on it. From Tokyo to Kyoto to Osaka, all across the place, Yokohama, everyone's going to be talking about this in Japan. It's like, whoa, man. That's how you know that the words coming out of President Trump are just as devastating as a full-on beatdown. Look at that. Wow, look at that right there. He just says it. Say it again, Trump.
Japan. Okay, why didn't you tell me about
right there. I paused it right there perfectly. World War II history flashes right before her eyes. Like, oh, yeah, we did all that from the 30s and 40s.
Pearl Harbor? Okay. Right? You know, he's asking me, do you believe in surprise? I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what we, and much more than we anticipated doing. So if I go and tell everybody about it, there's no longer a surprise.
Hey, you know what? Again, Dr. Nick brought it up. Hey, when he rewinded back when Ralph Wiggum got his heart broken by Lisa Simpson live on TV. Yeah, hold on. So it's at this point when Trump, okay, right here, everything's fine right here, point by point. At 30 seconds in the 1 minute 1 second video, everything's fine.
As in Japan.
Who knows about bigger surprises than Japan? Right here. So right here, the words come out of his mouth. Then, now I feel like I'm an NFL, like, talking head, like, right here, coach. You see where the team outflanked and then hit the opponent.
Okay.
And now she's realizing the words. She's got to keep her mouth shut. So she's keeping her mouth shut, right? Right here, she's keeping her mouth shut. She's looking at the camera.
Hey, why didn't you tell?
Then she's getting a flashback of everything that Japan did during the imperial era, especially the early days of the conquest, all the way to World War II and the aftermath. She's sucking it all in.
Me about Pearl Harbor.
Right? She's realizing that she has to really keep her calm and composure, because whatever she does now, until she gets back home to Japan, will be observed with extreme scrutiny, not only by her political rivals, but from China, South Korea, North Korea, everywhere. And she's breathing out now, trying to compose herself.
Okay.
You hear it. She goes, Oh, that's like, fuck. How am I going to navigate this minefield? Right there. I just heard that too. Right there. You listen very carefully.
Harbor. Okay.
She goes, She's like, you fucker. I'm having fun here with this one. I'm having fun. Hey, guys. Yeah. She's trying to keep from transforming into a Titan. Yeah, or go Super Saiyan. Did she say anything? Who knows? Yes, Accord Lord. I can't wait for PSYOP anime.
Right? He's asking me, do you believe in surprise? I think much more so than us. And we had a surprise.
Oh, she's blinking like, I am so pissed. Oh, listen, gentlemen. If you ever upset your girlfriend and she does that slow blink at you and you know you screwed up, oh man, hey, listen. Dodge, baby. Dodge like you never dodged before. And listen, buddy. To my friend Accord Lord, you asked about PSYOP anime, right? Somebody did this. Why? Who did this? Who did this? Come forward. Who did this? I need to know who did this right now. Dr. Nick, why are you applauding? What is so funny, people? What do you think is so funny about this? Supposed to be anime Trump. Hold on. Let's see. Look, there's everyone having a good time. Trump holding a rocket. Economy's right there. Who did this? Come on, PSYOP anime. PSYOP anime. You have to do this. I'm not telling them what to do. They do a lot of good stuff. PSYOP anime. Listen, if it does happen, I'll have to do a short video, but it's a shame. Yeah. Also, folks, again, what comic is that? Stop. And no, it's from an online platform called PSYOP Anime. They're on X, and basically they use AI art to make anime. So it's actually pretty good, So, I mean, here, you want to talk about top 10 anime betrayals? This one right here. Like I played at the beginning stage of the show, and I think it's a work of art. It's pure gold.
何か新しい情報はあるか？
アメリカ政権はブラフをかけている。中国が台湾をめぐって圧力を強めている中で、イランとの直接対決に踏み切る可能性は低い。その狙いは、より大規模な衝突へと発展させることなく、あなた方に核開発計画の放棄を迫ることになる。
なるほど。ご尽力に感謝します。ハッカーカール
There's so many Mad Dog geniuses out there. God, man. So many Mad Dog killer type geniuses. I love you. I know. Listen. It's Tucker. Tucker, you betrayed us. But I don't know what's worse. A Tucker Carlson betrayal? Or to look at your ex-girlfriend when you realize you screwed up. Like here, right here. Right here. Okay. Hey, gents. We've all been there before. You might have said something stupid at the party. And your girlfriend just does this because she know, and you kind of know you screwed up, but you're laughing it off. And she has that body language. We've all been there. It's like, yeah, you stupid moron.
Me about Pearl Harbor, okay?
She goes, Oh, I love that. She goes,
Right? You know, he's asking me, do you believe in
Oh, she had to breathe out. She's looking at him.
surprise? I think much more so
She gives him a look.
than us. And
She looks at somebody right there. Perfect.
we had a
Slow blink.
surprise him, and we did. And
Another slow blink.
because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what we, and much more than we anticipated doing. So if I go and tell everybody about it, there's no longer a surprise, right?
If this was a relationship and they were at a party event, oh man, you know she's beating his ass in the car. Anyways, I don't encourage violence. But there you go. Hey, Trump keeps screwing it up. Anyways, what's the lesson to learn here? Maybe it's best not to bring up Pearl Harbor. I don't know, because Pearl Harbor did what? Lead us into World War II, right? And here we are going into the sequel we've all been waiting for, World War III. What could possibly go wrong, honey child? And with that being said, I know it's an evening show. I'm sorry, but we got to wrap it up. We do got to wrap it up. There won't be a morning show tomorrow. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry. Can you forgive me? Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Okay. I'm so sorry. But unfortunately, I have stuff I have to do. I have work I have to do. And, there's a lot of other things that I have to take care of. But I want you guys to fly your asses to Kick right now. Take your asses to Kick. Go to Kick right now. Go to Kick. Go to Kick. Go to Kick. Go to Kick right now. Okay. Do that. And here's what else you could do. Hey, help out Hardlands Media. Here's our Linktree, Peachtree, YouTube, X, Rumble, Kick, Patreon, Substack, Discord, Instagram. Follow us on all of our social media links. Here we are on Patreon. Patreon supporters, you have a patron show tomorrow, 10 a.m. Saturday. Patron supporters, you keep the show alive. Without all of you, we would not be here. Patron supporters, I'm going to say it again. We would not be here if you did not support us. So if you are a patron supporter, I love you. If you can be a patron supporter, I'm going to love you so much. So consider keeping us alive. Also, please consider supporting our GoFundMe. All donations are greatly appreciated as we are in this legal fight, and it's a nightmare. And I do appreciate any support and solidarity that we can get for our GoFundMe. Again, I'm hoping for this nightmare to be over. So thoughts and prayers. If you have a link to the boss man upstairs, let me just say that all support is greatly appreciated. So let us know what's going on and everything more. So there we go. Oops. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Anyways, consider supporting our GoFundMe. All support is greatly appreciated. And nonetheless, let's just continue to move forward. We do appreciative of all the support we are getting here. So again, as I said before, we're very grateful for all the support that everyone's been giving us to our GoFundMe. And we do appreciate everything else in between. So there we go. I had to refresh the page. So, and again, as always, please consider supporting. Follow Hardlands Media. Support our GoFundMe. Support our Patreon page. And, of course, support our Linktree, Peachtree. So here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to fly your butts to Kick, okay? That's what you are going to do. And more importantly, we're going to have a little song there. Okay, it'll be a short little evening dump. It'll be a short evening dump because you guys are beautiful. So thank you so much. Go to Kick. Here's the link to Kick. If you're not going to Kick, what's wrong with you? Here we go. Kick link going in Rumble Rant. There you go. In the X chat. There you go. Make it happen. It's there on Kick and on X. And of course, hey, how can I forget YouTube? There you go. You are now going there. Hold on. Let me just do this. Boop, paste. There you go. Take your asses to kick.com. Now for the Blues Brothers dancing, I'll see you around.